Okay, let's blast off State of the Union dubs and L's. Biden's illegals moment. Conservatives crying about Brandon being mean and dynamic. Hogwatch. Libs gushing at Geno Joe and more. Underrated color match in the fit. Thank you. That's for you. I do it all for you, baby. That's right. New report from Lalo, you get a mention. Where is it? Where is it? What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, here. Hold on. State of the Union W's and L's. Biden's illegals moment. Conservatives crying about Brandon being mean and dynamic. Hogwatch. Lips gushing at Geno Joe and more. We have fun. High intensity reacts. It's Friday. Get in now. Yes, Kaya's bed is behind me again, but she's still not comfortable with it. Can you keep playing a song so we know that the people cannot know that the stream isn't effing again? Do it for Goku. No, I'm not gonna do the Israel thing for Goku. Oh, I forgot to mention Akira Toriyama. Hassan, this is our 9/11. Shogun will likely not get a season 2. We love how the book ends. It was one of the reasons why we both knew we wanted to do it exactly that place. I will die. Do you understand me? No. The book itself apparently goes all the way to Iran-Contra. You need to keep making this show. If you don't fucking do it, I will lose my goddamn mind. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. Babam da eskiden Shogun'u izliyormuş. Bak gördün mü Türkler bile. Dude, this is like a global thing. Turkish fathers are watching this shit, okay? No, I don't like that it's a fucking mini series, man. That's crazy, dog. That's crazy. I don't want like a Marvel Cinematic Universe for Shogun, obviously. But like, you know, lean into it a little bit further. There is a lot of lore. There is a lot of lore in the content, in the world of. There is a lot of lore in this world, okay? In the universe of Japan, which is very similar to anime. Anime and Japan are one or the other. Does this stream pass the Bechdel test? Just making sure I'm being ethical on this fine day. Dude, what do you mean? Kaya. It doesn't even, it destroys the Bechdel test with flying colors. The most prominent fixture on this stream is a woman. You can't see her right now because she is, listen, she is currently fucking wasted. She is white girl wasted on the ground. God, I'm such a millennial. She is passed the fuck out. Do you understand? She's so tired after going crazy all morning. 0 viewer streamer 69 just went live, and I'm afraid you being live is taking away eyeballs from them. You're actually insane for this. Shaking my head. I'm a bad guy. Okay. Let's be real. I'm not a good guy. I'm a bad guy. I am personally taking eyeballs away. I'm personally taking eyeballs away from every other streamer currently, and also other YouTubers. It's messed up. And not only that, but I'll be taking even extra eyeballs away by reacting to stuff, which ironically doesn't make anybody think that like maybe the reaction itself is also creating new and unique content that a lot of people want to watch. No, it must not be that. It must actually be that I'm stealing people's eyeballs. This Hasanabi, he's a nasty guy. He's stealing eyeballs. Believe me, folks, he's stealing eyeballs away from so many people that deserve those eyeballs. United Airlines Boeing 77 loses tire while taking off San Francisco, crushing cars on the ground. That's crazy. If those people read the definition of transformative, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. Can I have that $50 that hater guy donated to you? Someone donated $50 to me. I didn't even see it. Let's go. You stole me from Sam Cedar today. What the fuck, man? I will watch the rest of Sam right after, though. So the caller still doesn't get it. Yeah. Basically, the Meat Canyon XG. Yeah, listen, there's good ways of doing it, and there's bad ways of doing it. I saw a clip of you calling Turkish people a dog. Is that real or AI generated? What? AI generated? What the fuck would it be AI generated? It's probably clipped devoid of context. Ben Türk'üm amına koyayım. Ne diyorsun? What is this? I'm crying, Lamau. Wait, what the I had no interest in ever debating you. If you want to lie about me to your viewers and debate me via proxy, that's different. Either stop talking about it or just talk to me. I'm very tired and not a good debater. Free win for you. Wait, this guy gave me $50. Bro, I literally didn't even know. Yo! Nice, dude. Let's fucking go, son. You gave Hassan $50 to confront him about lies you made up in your head. Truly a masterful gambit. Why does this guy think that, like, I was debating him by proxy? Bro, I pulled up a chatter that was talking shit. I didn't even think that he was like... Dark Viper AI was not even in my mind at all. I'm telling you right now, I was not even remotely... I was not thinking about this dude at all. It seems like I stole his eyeballs from whoever the fuck he was watching otherwise, though. Who is this? He's some fucking very unwell guy who just loses his mind all the time at things I do. Anyway, but hey, thank you. I like that he gave me $50. It's no longer, yeah, it's just no longer rent free. You know what I mean? Like, not only am I living rent free in his mind, he's also paying me to live in his mind, it seems. But it is pretty funny because I didn't even see this until this very moment. Like, I had no fucking clue. It's not you. He's just a huge React gay guy. No, I know. It's been like his thing. This is the thing that he's like he's just starving, dude. He just wants attention. What is this? Updates?
Tell the Palestinians.
Me and Hasanabi head, we laughing at this, no at, and a fan fucking found us without saying his name. They need help. You have to check out this tweet from Guap Dad. I care about Dragon Ball Z more than I do this genocidal ass, ghetto ass country. Nobody paying attention to the State of the Union address. We're all having a funeral for the Dragon Ball guy. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China mourns Mr. Akira Toriyama. Yo, that's crazy. Chinese government officials mourning over a Japanese creator is a testament to how important that man was. That is crazy. Do you understand me? That is crazy. Bro, normally, anytime a Japanese man dies, they're smoking the dead ops celebration in China. Doesn't matter. Bro, here, let me tell you something. When Shinzo Abe died, when Shinzo Abe was assassinated, they had celebrations in nightclubs. Okay? They literally were doing the dead ops celebration, smoking on that Shinzo Abe, my weed too loud. Now think about the difference between someone like Shinzo Abe, a bad dude, okay? Terrible impact, genocide denier, versus someone who is the GOAT, Akira Toriyama, a person with a profound impact on the planet, someone who made art that transcended beyond culture, beyond boundaries. Many politicians have posted about Akira Toriyama. Yo, that's crazy. Fuck you, Macron. You don't get to experience, you don't get to like Dragon Ball Z. Akira Toriyama was very, very, very important for me. I mean, he was literally my entry point into manga. This is the first manga I ever read. I read Dragon Ball. That was the first manga I ever read as a child. Okay? And I was like, what is happening here? This is the sickest thing. I did not even realize like that world existed. And I think, and I didn't know this when I was, growing up in Turkey. I didn't know this. But I think he was like the entry point into manga and anime for like pretty much every black person that's into anime and pretty much every Mexican that is into anime and weeb shit in general. Like it sounds like an exaggeration when you say it like that. It almost sounds racist, but it literally feels like every Latin American country grew up on DBZ, Arabs too. It is such an important anime Yeah, all of Latin America. It's just, dude, it makes sense. It makes sense. Oh, yeah, a tremendous impact on the planet.
我们对鸟山明先生逝世表示深切的哀悼，向他的家属表示诚挚的慰问。鸟山先生是著名的漫画家，他的作品在中国也深受欢迎。我注意到不少中国网友也对他的去世表示哀悼。我们期待也相信日本会有更多的有识之士积极投身中日文化交流和两国友好事业。
Yeah, we mourn his passing. Okay, genuinely important figure in the world. The world lost a goat, unfortunately, too soon. It doesn't, unfortunately, too soon. Evil never dies, and the goats go away far too soon. Unfortunately, it just sucks. Salvi here. I made my friends envious growing up because I had seen up to the Cell tournament in Spanish and was ahead of the Toonami dub. Nearly spoiled it for them. Yeah. I mean, here, dude, there's a BBC News report on it. That's crazy. I mean, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool that like you're seeing a lot of praise. You're seeing a lot of praise for a dude who has had a profound impact on the planet. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Hold on here. I mean, I tweeted about this as well. I said, "Rest in power, Akira Toriyama. Dragon Ball was the first manga I ever read. His work transcended cultural boundaries." I mean, dude, look at this. This is it. That's all you need to know, okay? This man created the worldwide. This man was impactful in the worldwide Latina belt. From Guadalajara to Jakarta all the way to fucking Tokyo. Everybody fucked with Dragon Ball Z. Everybody loves Goku. It's just so good. Here, if you want to understand, bro, you have no idea the Dragon Ball related small business per capita in Latin America. I do have an idea. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you the idea, and it's going to blow the minds of many people. Imagine having a country dedicated an entire watch party to just witness the ending of another major point in your story. No one did it like Akira Toriyama. No one. And they're fucking, dude, and it's because it's so early, they're watching it fucking sub, not dub, baby. You see what I'm saying? Dude. That's like tens of thousands of motherfuckers sitting around watching Spanish subs. And guess what? Here's more fun stuff about this. Okay, it doesn't end there. The story doesn't end there. Embassy of Japan in Mexico sent a note to a Mexican governor regarding the public airing of Dragon Ball Super's last 2 episodes, asking to suspend it if it's illegal because of Toei's author rights. And guess what? They still did that shit. Toei had to send a letter from Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs that said, you guys can't do that. Japan's Foreign Affairs issues a letter to the embassy in Japan. Requests the embassy to contact said regional governor because Toei is mad as fuck. Embassy does as instructed. Someone to the governor of Coahuila's office receives a letter from the Japanese embassy about fucking Dragon Ball. The office of the governor of Coahuila carries out whatever it is they need to do and contacts the relevant people to stop fucking Animushu from airing in their public spaces. I think they still did it, no? Dragon Ball themed bar in Brazil. Dragon Bar. Dragon Ball celebrations of football in Liga MX. Like, for me, my thing was whenever I was in a pool, I was Goku. Okay, I'm going Super Saiyan in the pool. Like, I would imagine myself as a child. Okay, Whenever I jumped in the pool, I would go, ah, like I would go Super Saiyan in the pool like I'm flying. That's what I would imagine in my mind. That was my shit. That's what I did. My city in Morocco had a Dragon Ball Z themed Taekwondo gym for kids. Did you scream underwater? Of course, you have to scream, dude. Abi sen küçükken Dragon Ball TR'de popüler miydi? Hayır, değildi. So the Turkish chatter asks, when you were younger, was Dragon Ball popular in Turkey? It was not. So here's the story. What we had in Turkey when I was growing up was Tsubasa. Okay? Tsubasa is a very old anime about soccer, about football, right? That was the only dubbed anime we had in Turkey. And I didn't like it because I didn't care about football. So for me, I only thought anime was Tsubasa, right? And this is before Pokemon. I'm talking like early. I'm talking like when I'm a real young buck. We're talking pre-Pokemon, okay? So, because Pokemon popped the fuck off globally. It was a global phenomenon. But Tsubasa was the only thing that I had, and I was not really into it because I didn't really care about soccer. So I thought all anime was like soccer, right? I thought all anime was like basically just soccer stuff until when I came to the United States of America and I saw Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was the first manga I ever picked up. Okay? And it opened up a world of possibilities in my mind when I realized, oh my God, one, they make this shit in writing, okay, which is cool, much faster and much easier to consume. And oh my God, it doesn't just have to be about soccer. And I realized that there was an entire world of possibilities out there with manga and with anime, and that was my first venture into weeb culture. It was Dragon Ball, which to this day I still hold up to a higher regard than Dragon Ball Z. I think that's my controversial take, I think. It's been a very long time. I don't really remember most of the shit. As far as Dragon Ball Z games goes, my also undisputed GOAT Dragon Ball Z game is that top-down one that was like Pokemon. That one, I can't remember what it was called, but that one was so goddamn good. Okay? I don't know, it was a Legacy of Goku maybe? It was a Game Boy Advance game, and I played the shit out of that. It was so goddamn good. So, anyway, dork origin story? Yeah, 100%. I'm just telling you, like, this is why Akira Toriyama is an important figure for me personally, and I know he touched the lives of tens of millions of people around the world in a similar fashion. Okay. He said Powerball is for the soccer. Really cute Dragon Ball birthday pic. Aww. Oh my God. As cute as hell. She is laser focused on the cake. I respect it. Yeah, I mean, dude, this is what art is all about, by the way. Dragon Ball animation still holds up after 40 years after the fact. It's iconic. I think the reason why you're watching stills on this, I think the one thing that doesn't hold up, again, another controversial take, not that it matters because it doesn't take away from its impact, in my opinion, is that the Dragon Ball Z as the original work does not stand the test of time as well as you think it does. And I literally personally recognize this. Listen, let me tell you something. Aside from the fillers, my child brain was watching and filling the gaps with so much. When I rewatched Dragon Ball Z a couple years back, I remember thinking, oh my God, the fight sequences are a lot of like reused animations and whatnot. And in my mind, I was just like making up the fight sequences. I was imagining the fight sequences. It's a very strange feeling when you go back and watch like the OG Dragon Ball Zs and you're like, what the fuck? This is not how I remember this shit at all. Because like, you know, when they do the punch and it's literally like just the same punch arm for like, 10 seconds, and it's like brrr. In my mind, when I was a kid and I was watching that, I was thinking like I was seeing each individual punch and each individual dodge. You know what I mean? Like in my mind, I was thinking like, wow, they drew all of that. I think that's what it was. Like that's why I think it's very it just holds up. It holds up in my brain. The video isn't just stills. I mean, it's beautifully drawn. Shit, dude. It makes me want to like go back and dive back into it. What's your opinion on the green filter in Dragon Ball because of compression when they import it to the US? Do you think it's important, or do you prefer without it? Dragon Ball taught this kid and has saved his life.
You can call me Toriyama. I survived. The flying kid stinks.
Could think of was using a combat technique from his favorite cartoon show, Dragon Ball Z's.
That's cute as hell. Your feed is getting scuffed, not a joke. Speak to power, and this is what they do. Silence you. Bro, can we fucking dial back schizo posting on this fucking Friday? Okay? Can we? Can we just dial it back? God damn, dude. I'm having a fucking emotional moment here talking about an incredibly fucking important author, mangaka, a legend that is being currently celebrated for his work that transcends time and cultural boundaries, and you're like, yeah, dude, this is what they did to you. They assassinated your edge. You are no longer talking about important things. It's like, bitch, have you thought that maybe I'm a Twitch streamer, but also beyond that, maybe it's important to me? Might not be important to you, but it's important to me. Fuck you. And it's not just important to me, it's important to a lot of people. This is great. This is a celebration of someone whose work was very fucking important. Anyway, this is one of my favorite scenes from Dragon Ball. Chills every time. All right. Goku monologue.
You can destroy planets.
Yeah, this is a great take, by the way. DBZ bridges so many cultural lines. Like, there is no other anime that I know. This is the one anime that literally fucking abolishes class. Okay? And I don't mean like in its work it abolishes class boundaries. I'm saying like it transcends beyond class boundaries. Like, dudes in Naperville are watching DBZ on Toonami. Dudes in the reading manga would make you stupid. And created an era where both adults and children read and enjoy manga. He showed us the dream that manga can do things like this and that we can go to the world. He gave it to me. It was like watching a hero push forward. The excitement he experienced when he serialized Dragon Ball is probably rooted in the childhoods of creators who are active in all industries, not just manga artists. The existence is a great tree for manga artists of my generation who have stood on the same stage. The closer I got to Toriyama's works, the more I realized that they had a greater presence. The message on Twitter was translated better. Yeah, this is like hard to read for me. I don't know why. So scary, but I'm just happy to see an easygoing man himself again. Because we love Toriyama Sensei on a blood level, I would like to express my respect and gratitude to the world of creativity left behind by Professor Toriyama and pray for his repose in peace. Here, I'll read the last line. It's better. For the manga artists of our generation who stood on the same stage, Toriyama's works became more and more important to me as I got closer to the same stage. I even felt being scary. But I am just happy to see the aloof man himself again, because we love him on a blood level. With respect and gratitude for the creative world he has left behind, I pray for his soulful rest in peace. May heaven be the joyous world he envisioned. That's nice. Damn. It's a good line. All right. It's probably so funny if you fucking don't give a shit about any of this. and and you're just like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? Anyway. All right, let's move on. Here, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch the BBC article, and then we're gonna move on from this.
Creator of Dragon Ball, one of the most influential and best-selling Japanese comics, has died at the age of 68. Akira Toriyama was 68. An official statement said he'd suffered a blood clot on the brain. Dragon Ball was first serialized 40 years ago. It became a huge hit worldwide, spawning cartoons, films and video games. The series features a boy who collects magical balls containing dragons to defend the world from evil enemies. The studio said he was working on several projects when he died. Well, for more on this, let's speak to Dr. Raina Dennison, a professor in film and digital arts at the University of Bristol. Tell us about the legacy that he leaves behind.
Akira Toriyama is one of the most influential manga artists that there has ever been. He's influenced a whole genre of manga in Japan, known as shonen manga or boys manga, which is the most popular in Japan and around the world, influencing creators of shows and manga like Naruto and One Piece, of course, as well as being someone who has influenced everything from art exhibitions through to protests in places like South America. He's a huge influential figure within this field.
And tell us particularly about Dragon.
I think Oda also carries the torch as well. She just described Pokemon. I think that Pokemon did a big job of this as well. What is this? This is something we can all agree on from Vegeta. I think Pokemon also did that, and One Piece is like definitely doing that as well. Pokemon, I would say, is a little bit more like One Piece is very corporate as well, obviously in Japan. But I don't know. I think that it's a little bit different than the One Piece is a little bit different than Pokemon and more similar to Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball, we can see some characters on the screen there. That in particular, a huge franchise. Many of our viewers will know it very well.
It came around in the 1980s, in 1984, and was perfectly situated in a growing manga and media market in Japan. And so was quickly adapted into animation, famously into Dragon Ball Z, the second part of an anime series that really took the world by storm. So the manga's been adapted into...
I'm gonna cry. If I watch this, I'm gonna fucking cry. The most beautiful video on the internet is this one Hispanic dad showcasing his Dragon Ball figurines, and one of them was his one true possession, Mini Goku.
¿Qué compraste?
Todo el Imperio Saiyajin.
Mami, ¿cómo te sientes sobre eso? He bought like 5 or 6. What is that?
Mini Goku. Me encanta. Tengo otro.
Okay. You bought 2 of those? They're adorable.
Mira esto.
Dad.
That's so sick, man. It's not the same. They're different. What the fuck? So you bought 2 of these.
Into over, I think, 21 different countries and languages now. And the anime was broadcast originally in, I think, 36 different countries. So has had just this perfect international spread as part of its history. And that's led to it becoming popular around the world, but also becoming a major franchise within and outside of Japan. There's now, I think, about 17 different animated feature films. And the sales of the manga alone hit around 160 million copies.
Would you credit Akira Toriyama with helping to kind of put manga on the international map?
Absolutely, yes. He came around in a time when fans were starting to grow in number around the world, and where fandoms were starting to share texts. The first time I came across Dragon Ball was when a friend from China introduced me to the manga when I was living in South Yorkshire. So it's an amazingly well-traveled story. And it starts in China. It's an adaptation, actually, of Journey to the West, with Son Goku, the main character, being named for Sun Wukong, the Monkey King.
That's the other
And in
part about
terms
it. That's why I think it's so impactful in China too, because it's like Chinese lore.
of his political influence as well, we touched on it briefly, but how did he have a political influence in Japan and beyond?
Yes. He was quite a quiet figure, quite a reclusive figure, but he's always been very careful about controlling
I feel like that's every mangaka though.
his materials within inside Japan, and he's been very popular there for generations because I think his stories don't just tell the stories of a successful character, they tell the stories of resilience and determination needed to become a success. And this is something I think we see reflected in places like Chile with the recent student-led marches using actual Dragon Ball replicas as part of their protests.
And just one more question, if I may. I mean, how would you also...
Dragon Ball also features some of the healthy masculinity main characters you were talking about yesterday too. Yes. Dragon Ball is another fucking show that is like a really good big bro show where it's all... I remember I was talking about Yakuza yesterday, about like these very masculine characters being impossibly nice, like incredibly kind. It's literally, it's like that's it. That's the whole point. I feel like motherfuckers nowadays would look at that and be like, this is woke culture, dude. Hello? Piccolo's black? Excuse me. Everyone needs to stop with this woke nonsense type shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so dumb.
Credit Akira Toriyama of kind of spreading Japanese culture more widely around the world. I mean, kawaii is huge now as well. There's even an exhibition in...
I like that about shonen. Most are very not toxic male-wise. Yeah. It's all about, like, a lot of shonen is about friendship, okay? It's about, like, beating each other's asses and then making them your friends. One Piece is very similar in that regard as well. It's always like Piccolo is considered Turkish in Austria. Yeah, because, and black people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but in Germany and in Austria, Turkish people are seen as the black people in Germany and Austria. Obviously, the history is very different, and I'm not making a comparison between chattel slavery and that. But Germany is the one place where I objectively am not considered white, even by, like, even on accident. There's no other place on the planet. Everywhere else on the planet, everywhere I go, I'm white, except for Germany. That's the one place where they immediately know this motherfucker's not white, he's Turkish.
London, you know, a lot of people have kind of copied that imagery, whether it's manga or kawaii, beyond Japan.
Indeed, yes. So Toriyama's Dragon Ball featured in the British Museum's manga exhibition a few years ago. And he's a major figure in spreading a particular kind of aesthetic that has become known as the manga aesthetic. He's certainly been hugely influential, particularly within the boys genre. So less in terms of kawaii, but more in terms of the kinds of humor and action that manga are famous for now. There's a trope of the spiky-haired boy, and that's very much a Toriyama popularized creation, I think.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Raina Dennison.
President Biden's State of the Union address, the kickoff.
Bro, she's a doctor of fucking fun stream idea. Recreate these fits. Damn. True. Dude, another thing that's like very... Yo, I swear to God, Oda took a lot from fucking Dragon Ball, dude. This is also very One Piece. Like a lot of modern anime I watch don't have this kind of like... A lot of older anime don't have different fits for the characters in this way. Like, there's just so much. Yeah, it is making sure your characters in their off time are drippy is like very... By the way, pay no attention to the random American word on the shirts. They're Japanese. That's classic. Okay? That's like that Badman, Postboy, classic. Okay? You don't understand. That's just how it is, okay? Batman. It's so sick. a lot of places around the world where they don't speak English, but like learn English as a second language, you'll see stuff like this happening. It's my favorite thing. Anyway. But to be fair, we do this shit too. My merch line literally has like random Japanese words on it, and I don't even know if it's like correct or not. I didn't even check. So we do the same shit. Hopefully it's, you know, double crossed and checked out. But anyway, all right. We're moving on. We are getting to Sodu, the State of the Union. We're moving away from this emotional journey that we went on. It was so emotional, I forgot to run the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. You know what I mean? Like that's how it was. That's how emotional that shit was. Soda, State of the Union. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about the 3-minute ad break right now at the top of the hour. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free. I'm going to talk about the winners and losers, some of the best moments, and more. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
Of the general election campaign, it did get raucous in the chamber at times. The president sparred with the GOP. Lawmakers shouted at him as he spoke as well. The president never mentioned Donald Trump by name, but he did repeatedly call out what he called his predecessor, creating a clear contrast for voters when they go.
Yeah, I like that they were like, oh, will he, won't he? Is he going to mention Trump? And it's like, bro, he mentioned Trump a lot, okay? He mentioned him. He never mentioned him by name, but god damn, he mentioned him a shit ton, okay?
Go to the polls in November. Biden accused Trump of bowing down to Vladimir Putin, trying to bury the truth about January 6th, and of failing in his most basic duty during the pandemic. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce starts us off. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, this was a feisty speech that at times felt more like a rowdy campaign event than a traditional State of the Union address. The president, well aware of the stakes, pitted his message directly against Donald Trump's, repeatedly sparring with Republicans in the room in a way we've never really seen before. The president trying to show voters he is ready for a fight and has what it takes to serve another 4 years.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Overnight, a fiery President Biden kicking off the general election. Biden framing this moment as a fight for freedom and the nation's democracy.
My purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either. Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time.
Straight out the gate, the president shaming Republicans for failing to fund Ukraine and calling out Donald Trump, though not by name, for saying he would allow Vladimir Putin to attack NATO allies.
Now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, do whatever the hell you want. That's a quote. A former president actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
It is pretty funny how much like Republicans can openly hate America and still own like loving America as a concept. Like, I can't get over this part. Like, we are so busted as a country, as a nation, in the way that we understand patriotism, that like people yell at me when I want to fix America and say I'm an un-American piece of shit. And then they go and watch Tucker Carlson and be like, Russia is so much better than America. What's going on? And they go, that's right. He's right. And he should say it. He loves America. Unlike this Turkish Islamist fundamentalist piece of shit. He wants me to have healthcare. Fuck that guy. Okay. He keeps saying, why the fuck are we bombing other places instead of using that money to do healthcare and you know, social safety nets that other countries take for granted, that by design they have? I'm the one who hates America, that should go back to his own fucking country, okay? But Republicans that constantly complain about America not being violent enough, not being shitty enough to the fucking working poor, those guys, Those guys are the guys who really love America. I hate that. I am very jealous of that shit. Like the way that reads for Republicans, it makes me I'm so jealous that they can get away with like criticism of this country in an incredibly stupid, incredibly violent way. It reads as like patriotism, but criticism of this country and urging Americans to see the genuine issues that all Americans face is seen as like domestic terrorism. Sucks. And honestly, this is held up by like Democrats, moderates, everyone. The more reactionary you are, the more patriotic you're seen. Blows my goddamn mind.
My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple. We will not walk away. We will not bow down.
Anyway, in order of importance, obviously, like when the lights are on, when the lights are brightest, right? We're talking first quarter in the finals. Brandon comes out of the gate swinging about Ukraine and about how he's going to stand up to Russia. Obviously, he's doing that because for some reason, I think he thinks this is the most important, most prescient, most like, this is going to get him the most clout, I guess. Like, this is what animates him the most. Now, fine, sure. I love when Biden gets that demon from Supernatural look and his eyes get all black. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. I think it's because he's like really old. But he was very animated. He was very animated. And I gave his speech overall, like I gave his performance overall, as far as like crowd reception and how Americans will see it, if they do see it at all, which by the way, I'm going to get to that in a second as well, an 8 out of 10. Okay. He was very dynamic. The word being used by Nancy Pelosi, as I said it was going to be the case, was vigor. He had a lot of vigor. They kept saying he had a lot of vigor over and over and over again. That he had one role to fill here, which was showing the country that he can stand up for an hour and actually talk. Okay? And he did that. I know that's a very low bar to clear for a president, but I do think that ultimately it was because, we had really, really low expectations. We had really low expectations of him, and he cleared those expectations phenomenally. He did, right? He did do that. Weapons grade Adderall, they gave him the good shit today. I am shocked that he was able to stay up way past his bedtime and actually pop off this hard. Okay? But you got to be honest about it. And one of the reasons why we know he did a good job overall is because the Republican commentary surrounding the State of the Union was about, one, crying at how mean Biden was. Immediately, conservatives turned back into he's a meanie bobini, he's a crybaby. Can I count on your voting for Trump? What? No, I will never vote for Donald Trump, dumbass. The fuck? Why do people say dumb shit like this? Anyway, but you know he did well. You know he did well. You know his performance was good because this was the reaction by prominent conservatives in real time. It is not a State of the Union speech. This is a wartime address against half this country. This is a signal to crush political dissent. Steven Crowder said, Biden just threatened the Supreme Court. He's an authoritarian, fascist fuck. Okay? To be fair, though, I'd be jealous in Steven Crowder's shoes as well because Brandon, very much not divorced, very much still having sex with his wife. Steven Crowder, on the other hand, is resorting to showing his penis to all of his staffers. Okay? Greatest fall off of our generation. Greatest political commentator fall off of all time is Steven fucking Crowder. Anyway. Now, he didn't declare war on the right wing, which he should, because the right wing declares war on anything and everything that is ostensibly left every goddamn day of the fucking week. So yes, Democrats should fight back, and it is good to fight back. against the Republican Party. So on that front, he did a good job, right? But there was a lot of bad as well. Like I said, I'm going to give him props. I'm going to give him props on the aesthetics of the speech, right? And I know that liberals will, of course, turn around and hype this up, and they did, and they're greatly, like, this was, the goal here wasn't just to show America, but more importantly, the goal here was to show the media that he still has it, okay? That he can do it. That he can go up there, talk, get angry, yell. I was listening to Michael Barbaro, my favorite liberal, this morning, who literally said, there were moments where I had to take my headphones off because he was yelling so loud. It's like, dude, shut up. Shut the fuck up, okay? You're such a bitch. You are, anyway, whatever. It's ridiculous. But there was the good, and then there was the bad. I tweeted this meme out earlier this morning from my desktop because I don't have Twitter on my phone. I said, Biden talking about big landlords and billionaires versus Biden talking about illegals and Palestinians, which is true. He had a lot of progressive legislation. He did a good job of selling a lot of the things that his administration has passed. Okay. He gave props to Sean Fain, who he had in the crowd. He also talked about the IRA, not, come out, you black and tans IRA. But he did talk about a lot of the infrastructure spending and all the stuff that the Democrats have done so far. Normally, your last State of the Union, especially if you're up for re-election, is going to be like a campaign speech. Okay? But in this campaign speech, it's supposed to be 70% what you've done, because this is 4 years in at this point. It's supposed to be 70% all of the accomplishments and 30% what you want to do in the upcoming second term. I would say that this was 30% all of the accomplishments and 70% what he wants to do in the upcoming second term. And a lot of the stuff that he presented that he wants to do was phenomenal. It's just that he's not going to do any of those things. Obviously, I know that, but I'm happy that he's at least lying. That is how low the bar is for the Democratic Party, okay? That at this stage, for people that want to vote for the Democratic Party, it literally is like, please just fucking lie to us and say that you're going to go after billionaires. Say that you're going to do something. Say that you're going to do anything, really, which he did. The fact that he talked about big landlords was very good. I think that since Biden is considered a cipher, he's considered a center point in the Democratic Party consistently throughout his career, except for issues like Israel, obviously, where it does seem like he has pure zealotry. Brandon talking about big landlords and the housing crisis is a change of pace. Okay? That is a change of pace. The fact that he is utilizing the bully pulpit to even address the housing crisis and even pointing to landlords by name, even if you're massaging it by saying big corporate landlords or whatever, doesn't matter. Okay? That's a big change of pace overall. I have to admit that. Okay? That's true. It's a big change of pace, a big shift in attitude. So he utilized at least a little bit of progressive language to get the voters excited, get the base motivated. However, considering that he desperately needs, one, young voters and Latino voters, black voters to come back and be enthusiastically voting for him, he flubbed on areas where he had to actually communicate adequately. 2 points that I think are really devastating for his credibility in those demographics were the language he utilized around undocumented immigration and his border bill that he pushed for and continues to push for, and also Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza. Okay? I think him using the word illegals is something that liberals will not let go of because it's massively important to liberals. Civility and the aesthetics are more important to liberals than the actual policies. And when you drop the civility and you drop the aesthetics of civility, all of a sudden something shifts. Okay? It has always been a full-blown no-no for the Democrats to ever refer to undocumented migrants as illegals. Okay? You can't do that. You can pass the worst border bill of all time. You can be the deporter-in-chief like Obama was. Okay? But ultimately, as it stands, the way that the Democratic Party operates is, especially as it pertains to migration, undocumented immigration and whatnot, is you always lean right, but you get concessions. For Obama, it was dreamers, right? His immigration policies were still very reactionary, but he made executive decisions on dreamers and like restoring and creating a pathway to citizenship or offering like a patchwork solution akin to TPS for children that came into this country as children, right? Who have a phenomenal track record and are demonstrably productive members of society. Like incredibly rigorous process that has super high bars to clear. The fact that they are not already full-blown American citizens is mind-boggling to me. Okay? It's just crazy. Anyway, he didn't do that. He didn't do that too much. And in the moment where he was supposed to pop off, he went off script and he popped down. He said illegals, and I think the point he was trying to make, to be as charitable as possible to him, was, listen, like you gave me this button about this person that was murdered by an undocumented immigrant, right? But what about all the people that get murdered by documented American citizens, is what he was trying to say. But he flubbed it big time because I do think he's a racist person in general. Okay? Especially when you scream the word illegal, especially as a Democratic party leader.
I will not bow down.
And firing a warning shot over Trump's election lies.
Here's the simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
On the hot button issue of immigration.
That was a bar too. That was a good bar. That was a good line for sure. That is like straight out of the Republican textbook. Republicans always talk about how like liberals want to leave the country and like they want to they hate America and they want America to suffer or whatever. But like, I think that was a good bar. That was a good line. To be like, you can't only love your country when you win is good. It's a good line.
Immigration, Biden confronting Republicans for tanking that bipartisan border deal under pressure from Trump.
Oh, you don't think so? Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing.
Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene shouting back at Biden about the murder of 22-year-old Laken Riley, a Georgia nursing student killed by a Venezuelan migrant who crossed the border illegally. Biden responding, holding up a pin with her name on it that Greene gave him earlier in the night.
Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals?
Like, that's so bad. It's such a massive oof, dude. It's just like unimaginably it's already gross as fuck to use this as a prop, right? And he should have definitely not gone off script here. It's just crazy. He dropped the I word here, a big one. He tactically deployed it to show his interlocutors that he means business. Yeah. So, he's so old he forgot they took illegal out of the Dems dictionary of terms years ago. Bro, they never, I don't think the Dems ever had illegal in their dictionary. It was always been a big no-no word. Historically, it's a big no-no word because the concept is no human is an illegal. Like there's no such, which makes sense, by the way. Now, liberals are trying to run defense for him now. Dude, even look at Kamala's face.
Parents, I say, my heart.
Look at Kamala Harris's face, dude. She's like, oh, God.
Heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
The president also confronting.
So, it is a no-no word because it's dehumanizing deliberately. Okay. And the thing is, like, I personally don't give a shit what language you use. Okay. I don't. I care more about the policy and I care more about the impact. Okay. That's what I give a shit about. I don't give a fuck what words you use. All right. But liberals do care about the words. That's the only thing they have is aesthetics and civility. You feel me? That's the whole point for liberals. So if you're failing on the aesthetic front, you're cooked. What the fuck difference do you have if your policies are identical to the Republican Party's policies and now you're using their language? You're going to lose out on a lot of liberals who look at that and go, that's ridiculous. Obviously, there are going to be plenty of people that will also turn around and be like, no, it doesn't matter. He's doing the right thing. He's doing it because he wants to capitulate to the right. Many people also hate immigrants, blah, 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 right? There's going to be people that suck him off of this. Nancy Pelosi tried to defend him and failed to do so on CNN immediately after the speech. If you recall, we watched that last night. Here it is.
Innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
Now, you should have said undocumented, but that's not a big thing, okay? What's the big thing about it?
No, I actually wasn't even going to ask about that. I was just going to.
She goes, actually, I wasn't even going to ask about that. Why did you jump to that one? We were just going to talk about the button.
Ask more about the moment, but you do think that he should have said undocumented? That wasn't going to be my question.
Well, we usually say undocumented. He said illegal. I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay.
To be fair, in context, it was direct reply to the Republicans using the word. He has to have just dropped the ball again. Oh my God. Liberals everywhere I look. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay. So when your interlocutor uses the N-word, do you use it too to demonstrate a point? Is that what it is? Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Like, come the fuck on, dude. Like, what is happening in the brains of so many goddamn people?
This episode.
Second Thought dropped a new banger about liberalism in the Western Hemisphere and capitulation to right-wing framing, I suspect, judging by what chatters are saying about it. Anyway, listen. It's a massive fucking massive mistake. So, to be fair, I assume Biden used the N word many times in the past, if not the N word actual. I mean, he used to say they're super predators, so that's a polite way of saying the N word about black people. He used that a lot when he was doing the crime bill. Anyway, listen. Point is, his usage of the term illegal is inconsequential, in my opinion. In a normal world, it should be infinitely a larger deal than his usage of the term illegal. That the bill that he's pushing that has $22 billion in border security measures is infinitely more consequential than his usage of the term. But liberals don't care about that shit. They only fucking care. They only fucking care about the aesthetic. So when he flubs on the aesthetic front too, it's fucked up. What is this? When the president refers to a guy who murders an innocent woman as an illegal instead of undocumented. Who are these people? Like, what is wrong with these people? Is this guy like, what does this guy look like? I love when these motherfuckers portray me as like a soy jack. And it's so funny. What does this fucking asshole look like? Does he show his face online? Now I want to know what he looks like. He got you good. He can't lie. Look, you are a soy Wojak. I am the Chad Wojak. I know. It's so funny when these dudes do this shit. Anyway. They basically said, I drew Hassan, but it's Hassan if he wasn't hot. Yeah, which means he lost the argument. Dudes that look like this. Yeah, dudes that look like this being like, dude, I drew you as a soy jack, which means you are owned. I drew you as a soy jack, which means you are owned, sir. Nice argument. Except, have you considered that I've traced your face as you are doing the pog face? Ha ha. Anyway. All right. We're moving on from this fucking dude. He blasted my cheeks in the pixelated universe. Getting back to actually issues that do matter. The replies are full of accounts like Feisty Friend 69 having the lamest conversations about, wow, my good sir, we should commission more soy jacks of Hassan. Yes, it is the most like brain dead Redditor ass shit. What is this? What? Please, can you stop sending me shit that you're engaging in? Like I would love to not have to see the Twitter spats that you guys are getting into. I mean, I'm happy that you guys are like fighting the good fight out there, but this is like super inconsequential. I mean, including this fucking dipshit. This guy. I said Biden's takes on Palestinian lives are disgusting. No other words. He mentions the 30,000 killed by the IDF as though they are victims of a natural disaster. Biden explicitly made it clear that no civilians should be targeted, and he spoke up for Palestinian civilians. You can complain about Biden forever, but when will you call on Hamas to surrender? I said, easy, once Israel is no longer a genocidal apartheid state. He said, Hassan explicitly embraces Hamas. Viewer count plummeting. So sad. I said, brother, we're talking about a genocidal apartheid regime, and you brought up my viewer count, still number one, by the way, and considered my honest assessment embracing Hamas. We can never dialogue on here if you're going to behave like the donkey you are. Like, what do you mean? Also, he's doing like Trump-style tweeting, too. Sad. Then tell me why 70% are women and children, Drew. Yeah, it's just not. Erdogan is stepping down after his last election, it seems. It's not even his election. It's a local district election. He's supposed to have no ties with any parties whatsoever. Why have I been shadow banned? You have not. Why do you engage with the dumbest fucking people on earth? Brother, I'm on Twitter, okay? If I post on Twitter, I'm going to have to engage with them. Have to remind everyone that Twitter Nazis look like if you go far back enough on their... Oh, yeah. If you go far back enough on the Twitter media tab, you will see what all of these like Nazis look like. And this is probably one of the, this is probably one of the more like normal looking ones. Oh, God, with the fedora too. This guy posts Giga Chad memes about himself. Yes, they live in a fucking fantasy world where they're like, if I draw myself as like a super cool guy who's sexy and hot, then I automatically win the argument. It's like the most sad, pathetic, worm-like posting of all time. Anyway, bro is in Nanaimo, Lamau. No wonder he's such a miserable piece of shit. All right, we'll get to the Erdogan thing in a second. Let's get back to the Sodu.
The growing outcry over the mounting civilian death toll in Gaza, announcing the U.S. military will construct a temporary port in Gaza, a new route to deliver desperately needed humanitarian aid.
For the leadership of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority.
Looking ahead to the general election, the president vowing to fight for freedoms like access to abortion, even taking on the court with the justices watching on.
Those
Wait, oh, Are you really this stupid? Vietnam, Cambodia, Iran, 1953, Chile, 1973, Operation Condor, genocide of Native Americans. We'll look into this. Many are saying Drew is still looking into it. No, the greatest Drew post is when I found out that he was like posting about how he is a reincarnation of someone from Tiananmen Square and also simultaneously Malcolm X. He unironically posted that. Yeah. Wow, all this stuff seems so healthy and cool. You know what all the Twitter activity signals to me? A stable and healthy society and not at all a herald of the coming cataclysm. Yeah. No, it's probably fine that one of the major social media platforms that, you know, almost all media utilized in their aggregation of news and whatnot has turned into this like right-wing shithole filled to the brim with the absolute dumbest people, like people who are just like openly hallucinating. Okay, people who are so far outside of the scope of reality, whether it be the way that they present themselves as like sexy men as opposed to their interlocutors looking like soy jacks, or all the way down to the things that they talk about on a regular basis. We basically uninvented the AP Newswire and set journalism back 30 years. It's just so devastating. What has happened to Twitter is so bad. And I say this as someone who obviously uses it way more than the average person. Ugopnik raid. Thank you, Ugopnik, for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, brother. We are currently talking about the State of the Union.
Bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
At the end of the night, Biden finally tackling head-on those big concerns about his age.
I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while.
Turning the tables on his rival, Trump just 3 years younger.
Now other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution. That's not me.
The president with this parting shot.
The issue facing our nation isn't how old we are. It's how old are our ideas. Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. But you can't lead America with ancient ideas. They'll only take us back.
Now, the White House is thrilled with the president's performance. They feel he was fiery and tough, that he landed his punches and pushed back successfully against his critics. But this was a well-planned and rehearsed speech. So the question now, can the president keep this up? Will he bring this fire to the campaign trail? We will see starting today when the president hits the road in Pennsylvania. George.
Okay, Mary, thanks.
So yeah, all the good parts about all the things that he talked about.
Senior congressional correspondent.
All the things that he talked about that he was going to do next election, he's lying about, obviously. But if the bar is that fucking low, then thank God he's at least lying about it, like he is running for re-election now. Because think about it, this is a campaign that does not have on its campaign page issues, okay? That is ridiculous. That, to me, shows that they're not even trying to give talking points to their fans to go out and duke it out in the marketplace, okay? Like, imagine, how are you going to door knock for the incumbent if you don't know what the issues he stands for are? That's ridiculous. This means a lot, okay? It's not something that people go and read directly. It's not like it's out there because like everyone's going to go to the campaign page and read their fucking issues, but it is a placeholder for those who will go out and actually do the work to get this person reelected, and you need that. You need that. You need people to go out and door knock for you. You need people to go out and phone bank for you. If you have no issues and you haven't given how to communicate why people must reelect Joe Biden, how the fuck are people going to get you reelected? It's crazy. So this basically filled that void a little bit. I mean, he brought up some stuff that he was going to do, which, again, wild that like this is what politics has devolved into, that I'm over here celebrating that the president is at least like now lying to the American public about what he's going to do when that's supposed to be a given. Like, we've moved beyond the stage of like expecting the president to follow through on his promises to like even make promises. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, but like I said, overall decent speech from the big guy that I assume that I think is playing very well. The bad parts, like I said, aside from the illegals thing, was the fact that he kept going crazy over the Israel-Palestine stuff, reiterating that he's a Zionist, which we all knew. And you only say that kind of thing if you're about to set up for a massive move in the direction of like why you're advocating for a ceasefire, even as a rugged Zionist with a track record, and you know, urging people to basically realize that the atrocities that Israel's committed cannot go on. Except he didn't really do it like that. He didn't really do it like that at all, as a matter of fact. I thought he would have at least played both sides, but the sides were still heavily slanted in Israel's favor. It's been, you know, 5 months at this point, and he's still over here talking about October 7, Hamas hiding under schools, Hamas hiding under kindergartens, and Hamas using the Palestinian population as human shields. You only say that when you are working to contextualize why Israel's genocidal ethnic cleansing campaign is actually valid and that they're trying their best but failing to do so. Okay? He also said like Hamas did, you know, militarized sexual violence, talking about October 7, which again is still disputed. At least thus far, there has been no credible evidence to suggest that that is something that was directed from the top down. And the media coverage around it has been abysmal. I've covered that extensively as well. And the way that you suggest this stuff while simultaneously trying to make an argument for humanitarian aid makes no goddamn sense. Because you're basically saying, like, no, Israel has a right to defend itself. And that's what Israel is doing. It's defending itself by killing 25,000 plus Palestinian women and children. But it's a big oopsie for them. It's a big oopsie for them. It's a big oopsie that they're killing so many women and children. Okay? But also, we are trying to manage this as best as possible. We're trying to manage this ethnic cleansing campaign as best as possible by, you know, in a sea of the bombs that Israel is dropping that we gave them, in a sea of our bombs that are dropping on top of these people, we're sometimes dropping humanitarian aid. And not only that, but also because Israel is making it impossible for us to deliver humanitarian aid directly into Gaza, we're having to resort to airdropping them. And also on top of that, having to resort to building a pier, a temporary pier, mind you, a port. And the question is, like, if you want to help these people, they are not victims of a natural disaster. They are victims of direct violence from our ally that you are defending. The actions of, as a matter of fact. It doesn't make sense. It's the inconsistency that I think frustrate most people. Apparently, those airdrops also killed people today. I saw that as well, because 2 of the airdrops did not deploy their parachutes, and they actually, or U.S. Air Force said that wasn't from them, or, well, aid has killed Palestinians as well, it seems, today. At least 5 people killed after airdropped aid falls on them in Gaza. Khader al-Zanoun told CNN he witnessed aid packages flying from planes over the al-Shati camp on Friday, but cannot confirm which nation was behind the airdrop. Mohammed al-Sheikh, head of emergency care department at Al-Shifa Medical Complex in Gaza City, confirmed 5 people were killed in the incident. In a video obtained by CNN on Friday, an airdrop goes wrong when the parachute on a pallet malfunctions. The pallet and its contents can be seen falling at a high speed towards a residential building near the Fairuz Towers in western Gaza. As the aid races towards the ground, free-falling bags are also seen coming apart in a shower of debris, and later seen and heard impacting the ground with an audible loud thud. Yeah, the pallets fell on people and killed 5 people. It's so fucking dystopian.
Damn, this guy's good.